And we are back with another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. This is episode 224, Monday, July 7th. Bang, 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 bang. We are hot off of a holiday weekend here in the States. Independence Day was on Friday. And Chris, how are you doing, man? How you feeling?
Dude, I no longer know what day it is.
Yeah.
I'm not in the States right now. I'm up in Canada visiting my girlfriend, and today's the 5th, as I've recently discovered, and it's a Saturday. But I'm good, man. I spent most of my day out on a kayak on a lake, just like yakking around and eating some snacks, reading, all that kind of stuff. So I can't be too bad, man. I'm feeling pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing pretty good. It was a busy week. A lot of long days and long nights,
Oh, yeah.
And Friday was the 4th. I actually worked a 3/4 day type of thing. Then jumped in the pool, had a few drinks, and
naturally
just crashed. And having a holiday on the Friday is a great feeling because you have Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
right?
it's very necessary. I mean, sometimes we're not so lucky and the 4th falls on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and it's really tough because then you gotta get right back to the old grindstone.
Yeah,
right
decide when you're celebrating.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to decide like if
right
you
now
you
get the whole weekend.
You get the whole. You get to go to sleep fireworks. And you get the next night.
Exactly. People are doing fireworks tonight, and they're probably gonna do it tomorrow night. I mean.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. So it's good. It's hot here in Birmingham. Saturday we took it easy, and we're gonna have I think I'm getting up early and I'm going fishing. I'd rather be broadcasting as we are podcasting.
We've said that before on this, that we'd rather be broadcasting, and this is really the first time that we can fully relate to it. We were thinking about maybe trying to do this Sunday morning, but Ethan would rather be broadcasting, so
I'm glad we're not. Yeah.
Saturday night, and if you're watching over on YouTube, you can tell. This is our relaxed episode. We're both leaning back in some chairs, and we're holding our mics, and I have to say, like, this, I think this feels better than when we sit at the desk.
Yeah, I like how
this feels pretty good.
Each week we do something like slightly different, and then we talk about it like it's super important.
I just noticed your shirt is off.
My shirt is still off. It's been off for 3 weeks now. But there's something about it just. Minor changes, but it really changes the atmosphere, and I feel so relaxed now.
224 weeks in, you got to do stuff to keep it fresh. And something I was thinking about before, well, I guess in the process of us trying to schedule when we were going to do this, I was thinking about the fact that damn near every single other show out there, like, they go on a summer break or there's a winter break or something, but at some point in the calendar year there is a break, and right. we don't do that. But Ethan, I'm thinking the next couple of weeks will just kind of be like a summer break for us, where I think we're going to keep things pretty short and sweet. We have some travel going up, but next couple of weeks I'm up here. You'll be heading to Memphis for a little bit, I believe, and then you're going back home for Jav Fest. So we're just kind of going to be checking in over the next couple of weeks. Probably nothing super too hard hitting, but short form content is all the rage these days. So this is our best attempt at it.
It's true, the ebbs and flows of content creation. Or short form long form was in for a while.
Well, it's like when people make like short films, like sometimes they call them vignettes. Like this is just like a Grunge Bible vignette, like super short, but no less beautiful.
Short films are really interesting. Now you brought that up.
They are
sometimes. Man. Can you tell a story in 20 minutes? I don't know.
I think you can. I've heard stories told in 20 seconds.
I've heard great stories. I've told great stories in 20 seconds. I got a lot of stories.
100%, man. Yeah, that's big.
So thank you all for joining us on Monday, July 7th. Hopefully, as we said, that we're offering a safe space to get you through probably a drive. I listen to a lot. Podcasts are for the weekdays, right?
Absolutely.
The weekends, I always I just want to listen to music, but during the weekdays, I'm into the podcast zone.
You can learn something.
You can learn something, yeah, but you just stimulate the brain. So we're gonna do that a little bit today. Just gonna do a little this day music. Got a few things to touch on. A little bit more July 4th banter because we were a little ahead of we didn't really talk about that too much last week, but we're kind of in the mood, dude, of feeling a little patriotic or something, and we're going to talk about a few of our favorite things we've already touched on the last couple of years, but some classic episodes that we're going to turn into shorts right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. That's kind of what it's all about here. But yeah, if you're listening, wherever you're listening, we would like to thank you. And most importantly, we'd like to thank the people that make this thing possible. And they do that by giving us their money. It would do no good if they gave us our money. We already have our money, but Ethan's shooting me with his microphone here. But nevertheless, in case you're not aware, we have a Patreon linked in the show notes, and we have a $2, $5, and $10 level. And if you're feeling really jazzed up to give us some support, you can find your way over to that link and choose one of those 3 tiers, or choose your own adventure, as we'll get to here momentarily. There are some people that have done that, and they're giving above and beyond the Call of Duty. So depending on how into this whole project you are, you can chart your own path. But we'd like to thank everybody that supports us, whether it be buying merch, whether it be joining Patreon, just listening to the show, sharing it with a friend, leaving a review. It means a whole bunch to us here. But without further ado, I would like to thank the top tier over on Patreon. And we start way up at the top with Abraham is the cutest bass town ever. We're very grateful to have received some 4th of July greetings from Abraham, all decked out in his red, white, and blue. So glad to see that he was celebrating the holiday a little bit. After Abraham, we have the Cracker Man. And then we have the rest of our top tier. And those names are Black Hole Sean, Doug Endy, A Bit Dusty, Eddie Vedder Got Me Through My Second Divorce, Gochu John, Heidi and Change, Jade Mercado, Jamie Lynn, Carlene Salona, King Buzzo Stole My Hair, Nikki Six, Russell, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Sherry Matthews, Ultra Mega OK, What the Fuck Is Up Denny's, and the Michael Dooley Project. So thanks, gang, for your continued support over here at Grunge Bible HQ.
Thank you, everybody. It means a lot to have people that
big time
that get in the arena, man in the arena. So
oh yeah.
All right, let's move forward. We have some This Day in Music to talk about, and
yeah, we do.
We're going back 101 years for this first one. 1924. Mary Ford is born. You may wonder who Mary Ford is.
Who the hell is Mary Ford?
It sounds like a very popular. It sounds like it's a great name. It's a great name.
Oh yeah.
It's a wife of Les Paul, which you remember a couple episodes ago. I think 220. We commemorated Les's birthday. Is Les short for Lester?
I think we tried to figure this out. It's got to be
Lester Claypool, Lester Paul.
It's got to be. It is short. It's short for. His name was Lester William Pulsfus, and I guess
really
for marketability purposes, Lester became
they
Les,
cut both names.
Pulsfus became Paul. I think that one's a bridge too far. Like I could see Lester into Les, like that makes sense, but Pulsfus.
A lot of people cut their first name and nickname their first name, Nicholas to Nick.
He was of German ancestry.
But Paulson to Paul is pretty.
Pulsfus, yeah, that's strange.
I might change my name to Ethan Shao.
You might have to. E Shao.
Yeah, Eth Shao.
What would I be? Chris Sell?
Basically, yeah, we'd be really similar. We'd be really similar.
Yeah, and
Shao and Sell.
Mary Ford, who we're commemorating today, born 101 years ago, as you said, was born Iris Colleen Summers. And then somehow that became Mary Ford at some point. But as we discussed in
their marketing department was like, one syllable, that's all it can be.
Dude, that's what happens, man. Like
one syllable is it.
Even like local radio, like the people with the stage names, like there was one of growing up in Little League, one of my teammates was the son of a local FM radio personality, and like when I was 7 years old, like I couldn't understand like whatever the stage name was, like how come like my teammate didn't have that name, and then my mom was like, honey, like that's not a real name, like they just do that when they go on the air. So
it is pretty crazy.
I wonder, are those assigned to you, or do you get some sort of creative license to
your stage name?
Yeah, like you probably get to choose, right? But then again, like if your point man is like, hey, that's a terrible name, then like they probably just give you one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a conversation they have in the room.
I hope so.
They make sure to they got to do something to market it. I think Donald Steele Revert. I mean, I know that they wanted to know him as the real Don Steele.
It's like Wolfman Jack. I'm sure he didn't come out of the womb being called Wolfman Jack. But nevertheless,
definitely a good conversation.
Oh yeah, Mary Ford, wife of Les Paul, father of the solid body guitars, we're aware, as we commemorated mere weeks ago. And yeah, happy birthday to Mary Ford. She could play too, man. It's really interesting. You go back to some recorded video of like the guitar virtuosos from like the early 50s, really before the guitar took on, you know, what we know as it today. Like, it's still really fucking impressive what they were able to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
gonna post some Les Paul and Mary Ford on the page. I gotta do that.
When did the guitar get made?
Like the electric guitar or just the regular guitar?
Yeah, the electric guitar.
The regular guitar apparently was developed in the 13th century, and I don't know, electric guitar probably late 40s.
So this
probably
is a
30s,
really
40s.
Really random. This is really random, but I was listening to the Waltz earlier.
The Last Waltz.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And one of the songs I guess it might have been Tribe. What song? I'm not sure what song, but they referenced Robert E. Lee in it.
Oh yeah, the night they drove Old Dixie down.
Yeah. The night they drove Old Dixie down, and they mentioned Robert E. Lee, and you know this was in the 60s.
Yeah, the song was written in 60s, 68.
Yeah, so Mary Ford was born in 1924, which means that, you know, Robert E. Lee died in 1870. So she was one generation away from like knowing her parents being around with Robert E. Lee, and I find that fascinating. I don't know.
It's such
like, like it's kind of like it's like the Elvis Presley. Like our parents are talking about Elvis Presley. Like, I mean, Mary Lee, like, I mean, yeah, she's a couple generations, but like they're probably talking about Robert E. Lee or like the people in the. It's just,
dude, if you ever want to
far away, but it's not that far away.
If you ever want to like a mind fuck, go on YouTube and look up video recorded interviews with Civil War veterans, like around probably in like the 1910s. Like they got a bunch of these old Civil War veterans on camera talking about their experiences, and it's just it's so strange because obviously like, there's a through line there. You know, there's still people on this earth that were alive in the 20s, for example, that overlap. So it's crazy.
As we've talked about before, we're losing them. So hopefully the stories, they're cemented in YouTube lore or whatever. But okay, moving on.
Yep, we're moved up to 1940, and on this day in 1940, Ringo Starr is born, otherwise known as the fourth best drummer in the Beatles. Graced our presence, so that makes him 85? Yeah,
85.
Crazy.
So why does everybody give Ringo like shit as a drummer?
I just think they have to give somebody a hard time. John Lennon deserves all of it, in my opinion. Like, leave Ringo alone.
Yeah, he's catching strays. Fourth best drummer. I mean, that's great,
dude. He's still out there. He's still doing stuff. So.
Oh yeah, those guys can't stop, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad. I'm glad that Ringo and Paul are still out there, man.
Okay, did you see there was a post going around of AC/DC's performance, I think somewhere in the States, but they were like going to Australia later, and a bunch of people were like, thanks for posting this. I was on the fence if I should go or not to when they come to Australia. Now I'm definitely not going.
Oh no.
Yeah. And like they were old up there and they were rocking, and like a part of me when I first started watching, I was like, wow, dude, I would be very disappointed. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, actually no, because you get to watch the legends of rock. You know, it's not that good. It's not
just
what
to
it
be able to
used to be.
say that you've seen them.
The voices on it, but they're still rocking, and you know, it's like
they're trying.
It's like watching your. This is so degrading, but it's like watching your high school kid band. Like you're doing great, honey. It's like the old rockers. Like it's better. It's probably better than I'm selling it, but like, you know, it's nothing like the original and stuff.
Yeah. It's funny. So, completely unrelated directly, but Bruce Springsteen just released like 7 albums from his vault, and he's been doing a lot of press for it. And I think it was a Rolling Stone interview. They kind of asked him, because he's in his mid 70s. I think he's 75 or 76, somewhere around there. And the interviewer asked him like what he foresees for his future, like if he's ever going to retire. And he's like, no, he's like, I'd love to like keep playing, as long as I can, like, as long as I'm physically able to, I would love to. And then he's like, I just saw the Rolling Stones not that long ago, and he's like, they're the best they've ever been. And like, I love Bruce Springsteen, but there is no way that the Rolling Stones are the best they've ever been right now.
It's just, yeah. And like the Rolling Stones and AC/DC don't really have the genre that correlates to old age.
It's tough. Yeah.
But then you have like Bruce or like Willie Nelson. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. Willie Nelson was another one that he name dropped, and he's, he's still out there, obviously.
Yeah, and those guys,
and he's older than that too.
He's 92.
Yeah, he's old.
92.
He's the last of the Highwaymen.
Jeez. Yeah. So I mean, it's a
you gotta hold on.
Hot topic in music. When should people stop?
Exactly.
All right. Moving on. So 1950, 75 years ago.
Speaking of the Highwaymen, here's another one.
Johnny Cash joins the U.S. Air Force, enlisting at 18, just 6 weeks after graduating from high school in Arkansas. And he serves as a Morse code interceptor operator and rises to the rank of staff sergeant before being honorably discharged in 54 and launching his music career. I'll tell you what, being a Morse code intercept operator is pretty bad.
Sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. I mean, stealing the enemy's, right? I mean, that's what it is.
It's you're intercepting Morse code. Which if they're just using Morse code, like they're really not doing much to disguise what they're saying. I mean, those were the days, man. Like, even like the Navajo code talkers in World War II, like, using their native ancestral language, to communicate military plans because the Japanese couldn't crack it. Like those back when like something like that was worthwhile on the field of battle, man. Johnny Cash, he was involved.
Yeah, and it kickstarted his music career, which, everything plays a part. That's
this is different.
4 years is a good service.
And this is different from like our boy Elvis going into the military, because Elvis went in after he was famous. Like this was the start for Johnny Cash. Like he hadn't.
Elvis went in for clout.
Exactly, he went in for clout.
It's like joining a reality TV show and you're already popular.
Oh yeah,
no,
can't be doing it. Yeah, let's move up here. On this day in 1980, Led Zeppelin performed their final show with John Bonham, wrapping up a tour, and John Bonham would pass away on September 25th of 1980, later that year. As we all know, that spelled the end of Led Zeppelin, and I always kind of wonder if Bonham hadn't died, because I mean they had several albums out. I think they during their lifetime they released like 7 or 8 albums or something. Like I wonder where they would have went musically. Because as the 70s got, they got deeper into the 70s, they kind of changed up what they were doing. I really wonder how they would have impacted or responded to the changes that came in the 80s with popular music, because you had like the synth stuff, you had obviously hair metal, which came later. Like I wonder where Led Zeppelin would have fit in and all of that. I think that's one of rock's great unanswered questions.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I'm sure that it would have been nice to see the career play out, but sometimes it's better to burn out than to fade away.
I was going to say, are you about to quote Neil Young?
Oh yeah. Okay, and we have 1998 on this day. Bare Naked Ladies release Stunt, their 4th studio album, featuring the hit song "One Week." And love some Bare Naked Ladies.
I found out
old apartment.
Oh yeah,
the old apartment.
Old apartment and Pinch Me. I found out yesterday when I was writing these notes that they were the ones who sang that song "One Week."
Oh yeah.
I had no idea it was them. I mean, now that I know, like, am I necessarily surprised? Not really, but I just didn't know, so felt like it was necessary to commemorate.
Now you know.
Now you know. And we
I
have
love
one-
it. Yeah, I love BNL, dude. Love them.
Yeah, dude. They're always
I don't
a
listen
sweet
to them a
spot.
ton, but I love them.
No, when they come on though, I used
great,
to
great band name. Great band name.
when we were in the practice of like really doing like the not grunge posts on the page, we hit BNL relatively hard. Like we would post them pretty frequently, and there was like a group of 3 or 4 at the time teenagers who hated them and would always leave hate comments whenever we posted them. I might have to see if they're still around. We'll post them and see if we can rustle them up out of the shadows.
Just be like, who hates this band?
Yeah, let us know. All right, one more event here. On this day in 2006, Pink Floyd founder Syd Barrett passes away at age 60. We've talked a lot about Pink Floyd, I think, the last couple of months on the podcast. And Ethan, I know you've gone through some different phases with them lately, but like the life of Syd Barrett and everything that happened is not something that I'm super well read on, and just kind of like ping-ponging back and forth about it earlier. It's really, really tragic, and it's crazy to think about once again, like how different of a trajectory Pink Floyd would have had Syd Barrett not, had the struggles and the issues that he did, and which caused him to leave the band.
Yeah, it's really interesting getting into kind of what he meant to the band and how they moved on afterwards. Like we were discussing right before, the songs that came out of kind of them grieving for him, and they have accredited, I don't know, a handful of songs.
Yeah, most notably Shine On You, Crazy Diamond.
And Wish You Were Here, which those 2 songs are like
2 of their best.
Yeah, two of the best Pink Floyd songs you're going to get. So yeah, it's really sad. Anytime a band loses a member, you think of like your closest friends, and I mean, sometimes bands fight, which we'll get into a band like that right after this. But but most of the times it's a brotherhood, and losing one, like, I mean, as John Bonham, I mean, there's you can't replace people, and
it's so sad with Syd's story too. I mean, late 60s, early 70s, the world was so ill-equipped when it came to dealing with mental struggles and even substance abuse, things like that. Like, you have to wonder, people born at a different time, there would have been different resources available to them, or at the very least, more of an understanding and more empathy for people. I always think about that with a lot of those artists that struggled, in the around that era. Like my mind always goes to Nick Drake and Jackson C. Frank, 2 guys that were unbelievable artists, but just, weren't able to necessarily have access toward the resources and understanding that you'd hope they would today.
I mean, just the fact that like it's Saturday and, if I'm feeling lonely, I got my phone, right? I can text you, I can call you, call my brothers, text brother. Like, it was not so simple. And if you were alone, like you are actually alone. If you live by yourself and like, if your parents weren't around or something,
yeah,
you might be alone for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like, and not you have to
be alone for weeks, and if you don't do anything about it. Yeah
I'm assuming if you have a job, you get to see people, but like you come home on weekends, all of a sudden, like you can be a couple days to see people, really go into hiding.
So,
last thing that I want to bring up, on July 4th, Oasis kicked off their reunion tour.
Yeah, they did.
The big reunion tour, the first time that they played together in, was it 16? Was it 16 years?
I think it was 16 years.
Or was it longer?
I think it was 16.
So last year they announced it on August 27th, 2024, 2 days before the 30th anniversary of their debut album. And so they came back together and played. And so you see a bunch of videos going on about the reunion and how they sound the best they've sounded since the 90s, which is funny because they haven't been playing for 15, 16 years together. And but they're the best they've ever been. And I saw, I just wanted to sneak this in. There was a Green Day concert, and I guess Green Day always brings,
I saw this. This is great.
Green Day always brings up a fan to play Good Riddance at the end of the show. It's like a tradition. And so they bring him up, and the kid starts strumming Wonderwall, and Billy Joe's like, oh shit. He's like, give me that. He takes the guitar back.
Kicked him off. That was it.
And then Liam commented under the tweet. It was like best song of the night.
Dude, Liam is such a dick. It's awesome. I'll tell you, in regards to the Oasis reunion, I saw
big
some
topic.
Yeah, dude, the pundits
it really
are
should
out.
be the episode topic.
Yeah, we might have to throw in the title just for clicks, if somebody
yeah.
can click on it, and then they're gonna hear us talking about fucking Johnny Cash for 20 minutes earlier. But yeah, in regards to the Oasis reunion, I did see some videos from that first night that they played, and like they did sound pretty awesome. Like with all due respect, like Noel and Liam Gallagher's vocal registers are they kind of suit themselves well to 16-year gaps. Where like I don't think it's unbelievably ambitious, but nevertheless, like they sounded fucking awesome. And like I knew that they were back and that they were going to be mint because I saw a video, I think Rolling Stone posted it, of Noel Gallagher walking on stage. He had a cig hanging out of his mouth. He's strutting out to the stage and he just gives a point to the crowd. I was like, all right, like we're back. Like we're officially back.
There's some people just know they have it, and
dude, like they just have it.
The Gallagher, like they knew that it didn't matter. They knew once they came back that they would be met.
And I don't know what
with
they
open
have.
arms the way that they have it, dude.
That's the freaky thing. Like I couldn't tell you what they have,
Chris.
but I know they have it more than I know anything else on this earth. Like they've got it.
They are a band that I don't want to say it's a you had to be there thing, but when you talk to people that were there when Oasis was at its peak, I mean, they were huge. People loved them. Like I remember I had an old social studies teacher that just loved them. Like Champagne Supernova, man. I mean, that was everything.
Dude,
and I don't think we fully understand. I know we don't.
No, I definitely don't. Their set list, man, from that first night, like,
what are you gonna do? You have to.
Hello, Acquiesced. Some might say Cigarettes and Alcohol is on there as well. Supersonic, Half the World Away, Rock and Roll Star, Live Forever, obviously, and then an encore of The Master Plan, Don't Look Back in Anger, Wonderwall, and Champagne Supernova. Like, you can't beat it. Like, there's I always see British people saying this about people, particularly like soccer clubs or things like that. Like, oh, like my club is massive right now. And like, oh, dude, Oasis are massive.
They're massive. Yeah.
They're fucking massive.
I also, I said, just seeing a bunch of stuff. Apparently, for Wonderwall, like, Noel wrote the like lyrics and how it was supposed to be sung, but Liam obviously was like, I'm singing it. And he like sang it like really differently. And I guess people always fight about which version is better. It's kind of like it's not like Atlantic City with the band and Bruce,
but Springsteen,
but a little similar. Hearing like I just saw a video of Noel singing it, and I was like, I like this better. But then everybody's like, if they didn't do it Liam's way, it wouldn't be that big. So,
I'll tell you, I need Oasis to not break up for like 7 or 8 weeks because I got my girlfriend tickets to see them in Toronto.
I thought so.
In August. So she's super pumped for that, especially after seeing. I'm not. I couldn't get a ticket, but I collaborated with one of her friends, and I'm sending like her and her friend.
You couldn't get a ticket to the show, or
no? Like there was only like one up for grabs, like with her friend group. So I bought it for her, and it's my gift to her. But I'll tell you the other thing about this Oasis reunion.
Are you bummed?
I'm kind of bummed now after seeing the reunion clips, but like this reunion is
bigger than they've ever been.
Dude, it's great content.
They're bigger than exactly.
I saw somebody took a video of them playing Wonderwall, and they're like, this is the first time I've heard Wonderwall performed unironically in 16 years.
Yeah, basically. I wonder if they love that. There was a comment that
I bet they love it.
Yeah, there was a comment on the Green Day. It was like, Green Day has their own Wonderwall. It's called Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Every band's got their own Wonderwall.
Oh man, we go on about Oasis. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll follow the tour. You never know.
We might have to. We haven't followed a tour since Jerry Cantrell's Brighton tour. Yeah. So
we've been. Yeah, I like the tour following segments that has been done. So I don't know. We've kind of. I feel like over the years we've been on the fence with Oasis. I mean, I think we fed into all of the stuff.
I'm definitely in.
See, you're in. I think a lot of people would have thought that we were out.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm in. I'm a sucker for this type of shit.
I mean, great marketing. Great marketing by
absolutely.
them. They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I recognize that, and it doesn't make me love it any less. It's fucking awesome.
All right, moving on. We got a few more things to touch on.
I think couple vignettes here.
Yeah. Let's go right to considering that just happened on the 4th of July. We'll finish up the 4th of July segments.
Yeah.
And just bring up, Christy sent me, and I think it was the original. Well, there's two things. There's two things you need to do on 4th of July now. And one is obviously listen to 4th of July by Soundgarden. And we took care of that around 7:30 a.m. like on the way to work. We were listening to it. It was exactly what we needed. And just absolute, a great song. And I think we did a whole episode on it, or maybe it was just like
we've definitely spoken about it at length. Yeah.
And the other thing is the real Don Steele, KHJ 93 KHJ from in California, Los Angeles, California. And you sent it to me. He has all these recordings on. He was a DJ back in the 60s, and like I said, we talked about this last year. But you sent it, you said start at 3:01, and you can follow along. And I was like ecstatic at the idea. I was like, of course I'm going to do this. And I had just got over to my coach Tom's house, and it was actually thundering, and it wasn't raining, but it was like heat waves or heat storms coming through. I was going to jump into the pool, and I started the Real Don Steele, and I had just finished explaining what I was about to put on because,
yeah, you definitely need a lead in before you put that on.
I definitely need some lead in. And I was like, oh, it's just really fun to hear, the random advertising and how they used to do. They had, advertised the radio for $10.
You can't beat it, man.
Yeah. And so I laid down, and I told him, I was like, yeah, Jumpin' Jack Flash, it came out in May in '68, so it's only been out for a month when they listen to it here. And I was doing like a little bit of like stretching and stuff, and I ended up laying down on the pool deck. It's like an outside pool, so just but I looked up, and I just had the real Don Steele talking over me, playing the variety of songs. And I didn't actually, I wasn't actually in the pool yet, but I was laying there, and it was very surreal. It was a very interesting moment. I was just like, comparing, it's like a relic. I mean, it's history, going back and, damn near 60 years. And it was awesome. It was so much energy.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good. And, there's something about it that feels just feels right for, the 4th of July. So I was loving it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the best ones. And one of the best things that came from our weird obsession with the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was getting plugged into the real Don Steele. And they used an air check from May of '68 that is widely available on YouTube and SoundCloud and whatnot. They used that for the movie. But then when we discovered that, went down the rabbit hole a little bit longer. And there's been a couple times throughout the spring that I've been able to, on the actual day, go ahead and listen, however many years ago 68 was, and just drop the needle at 3:00 and get my afternoon drive in.
Hours of good content. So I was on his Wikipedia reading about Don, and I just want to read this little blurb. This is what I was kind of referring to earlier. So Steele gained additional notoriety due to an ill-fated promotion with KHJ.
I did know about this. You're right.
Undertook on behalf of his show during the summer of '70. The promotion was dubbed a super summer spectacular. It involved Steele driving around Los Angeles area in a flashy red car. Throughout the day, KHJ would broadcast clues about Steele's location, and listeners who successfully tracked him down would receive a cash bribe of $25, equal to $202 today. And on July 16, 1970, two teenagers attempting to track Steele by car at speeds of roughly 80 miles per hour forced another car into a highway center divider, causing the death of Ronald Wieram. And Wieram's family sued various parties, including KHJ, asserting the tragedy was a foreseeable consequence of the recklessness inherent to the nature of the supreme summer spectacular. And I guess, it's a very interesting case that is studied. And but dude, talk about, that's doing something and like not directly causing a death, but obviously leading something like that. That's, Don had to live with that.
That is such a ridiculous promotion too. And like once
scavenger hunts, dude, they were big back in the day.
Dude, once something like that goes badly, and obviously it was the worst case scenario of bad. It's so plainly visible just how bad of an idea that it was. And yeah, that's ridiculous. I would have to imagine that there was a settlement, or KHJ was found liable, because that's pretty egregious, and also incredibly unfortunate that something like whimsical and fun like that would result in the loss of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very sad occurrence, and not laughing because it's funny, but sometimes I chuckle at out of, what's the word? Not anxiety, but
well, I mean, dude, imagine like you're just standing on a street corner in LA in summer of 70, and then zipping by you at high rate of speed is a little red convertible, and Don Steele's just yelling,
bang, 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 bang.
That's it, man. Dude, they don't make those DJs like they used to anymore. Tough.
Awesome. Well, that's kind of it for July 4th. Just wanted to get that in there. And so we did reach 1 million followers as forecasted on last week's episode.
We reached it 5 days before my forecast, too.
Yeah, yep. You said it was going to be today.
I said July. I said July 4th, and we ended up reaching it on June 29th. We were getting close, so I decided to pull out some old classics and repost some stuff that definitely
bang.
Something definitely gets some traction. And we probably pretty steadily we gain between like 800 and 1100 followers a day, like net gain, after people unfollow. But
still amazing how many unfollow a day too.
Yeah, it's crazy. We kicked it in a high gear though. I was able to get that number up to about 1700 a day net gain, and that definitely that closed the gap, and it made up the made quite the difference in us achieving the 1 million followers. So that's pretty fun. We received different levels of congratulation from people all over the world on the page, and even people, like I was at the gym and like my coach, he was like I was talking to him about something like training related, and he put out his fist, he's like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, 1 million followers, congrats. I was like, hell yeah, brother. We did it. So it's pretty great, and I commemorated it with classically, as I commemorated it with a meme. The Michael Scott photograph of him.
Classic.
Yeah, it's absolute classic. But it's kind of nice now, being the primary poster on the page. Like that was the last goal that was really desirable for me.
100%.
I mean, now like
when's the next time the number changes? 1.1, right?
I think it changed at 1.1. So I mean that'll be in a little while. But it's just doesn't do anything for me. Like 2 million is not going to do anything for me. Like the 1M is pretty good. And we're out of the danger zone that like no level of shenanigans at this point could cause us to dip below that number, I don't think, because we're already at 1,010,000 followers. So we've got a cushion here of 10,000,
which is crazy.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. So all in all, it took us about 9.5 years to get to 1 million followers, which is kind of misleading because after year one, we had 5,000 followers that we had accrued over 1 year. And then we used to gain, it was about 90,000 a year that we would gain from like 2019, 2020, 2021. And then we had a slow year in 2021. But the last couple of years, man, it's been going up like 300,000 a year, which is crazy because there's only 365 days in a year. So it's like damn near 1,000 a day.
I mean, it makes sense.
Pretty high number. The bigger you are, though, like the faster you grow, I would imagine. There's more people sending it to people, and it's not difficult to get on the Reels page now.
But also think about where social media was 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Not saying it wasn't booming, but like I mean,
I think
AI is taking over nowadays. So like it's total.
We started Grunge Bible. I don't know that you could post videos on Instagram. And if
we did the IGTV.
That's back when that was a thing. It was separate. There were
that happened fast,
dude. IGTV,
IGTV was quick.
It's like the metaverse. People forget about these things rather quickly. But I remember the time you could only post 15-second videos, and then it was 60-second videos. But then IGTV came along, and you could post really long things. And then
the carousel showed up.
Dude, the carousel showed up. Reels showed up, and it's keeping up with the Joneses, man. It's tough.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was literally just one thing. Wow,
that was it, man. I don't know. The nice thing,
it just changed so much. I mean, it makes sense that like it obviously gets exponential, and like I think it's probably. I mean, I don't know, the follower number. Like that's how do I say this? Yeah, when bands or like some people have like 20 to 50,000 followers or something, and it's hard to. It's like it's I don't know, weird. It's like almost the equivalent to like 5,000 back in the day. It's like inflation, right?
Yes. Yeah. 100%. It's like on
like
on
a million
YouTube.
now.
I remember
Probably,
back in the yeah, like back in the day on YouTube, like there was like you could count on one hand the amount of people who had 1 million subscribers, and now like thousands and thousands of pages have it. I mean, fuck, we have 1 million on Instagram, which is weird to think. But I think the one thing that I'm proud of over like the 1 million followers is that you look back at like the old posts versus the posts now, and like the style is the exact same. Like there's no
compromise.
No, dude, there's no compromise.
Other than the meme integration.
That was the rocket fuel on this journey, though. That definitely got us where we needed to go. But we didn't, as people say, we didn't sell out. We remained true.
No, 100%.
I don't know. It's kind of funny, but it was really fun too. Because when I posted that Michael Scott meme about it, I asked people to, if they wanted to, in the comments, like tell us where they were from or why they follow, favorite posts, how long they've been following, kind of thing. And there were so many people that were like, I began following this page when I was 15 years old. Like I'm now 23 and I have a family. And I'm just like, man, that's crazy. I'm waiting. We have to wait a few more years for this. But and if we're still around doing this in like 3 or 4 years, like there will be people that follow the page that weren't alive when it started. That's coming, dude.
Yeah.
Theoretically, it's out there. If there's like an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old who loves grunge, 8-year-olds, dude.
8-year-olds. Wow. Yeah, it is. That is so. Dude, passage of time, man.
Dude, Unk status. Grunge Bible has Unk status.
It is, like I said. Yeah, I think we got into. It's like we got in at the right time. It was before everything. Like, I mean, it was kicking off. Obviously,
it was like prehistory. Kind of,
but it was like,
Instagram.
but like people talk about, I'm not saying we're a pioneer or anything like that, but we're
kind of are.
We're pillars. It's
dude.
There were no
pillar. There were no grunge pages back then. Like there were no.
We're just like music, social media. Like people talk about like the magazines, like what magazines were big, like like as far as like social media footprint, or like or the podcasters that everybody like the fathers of the pods. The pod fathers. Like, we have one of those. It's like it is an OG account. Yeah.
Well, there's so many imitators who have taken what we do with grunge 100%. Rock and have just like done exactly that.
Music in general. Like I was saying, like rock, just rock and roll or different genres. I mean, like how the hell did we know,
dude? How did
we know?
Did we know?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like you don't know. Because like you think about, okay, what do I need to get into right now that will be big in 10 years? And
right.
You have no idea. It's funny. It's so funny how it, like you said with the super Sunday spectacular, like when it happens, it was obviously a bad idea.
It was obvious, yeah. But with this, like now that it's successful, like it's kind of obvious that it was going to resonate with people.
Yeah, like, oh, we should have did this, and you say that about a lot. That's why, and that's where this whole episode is getting to. If you have an idea and you have something that you want to learn, something you want to do, just start it today. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best is today. So if you have an idea, you want to do something, it's time to get on it, because who knows? You might just be disciplined enough to keep with it. In 5 years, you're going to be at a much different spot. So.
Speaking of just art creation or just engaging in a project, July 5th, to the day that we're recording this, is the 20th anniversary of the Wonder Years recording their first song together, which is really cool. So on their Instagram page, Dan shared the story of everything leading up to that and like how it went down and everything. And he went on to say a little bit. I guess I'm rambling on, but if I have a point, it's this: do shit for fun. Write songs because you like to make music. Write them with your friends because you love them. Making art is good for your soul. Everything else is secondary. And I think that applies to damn near everything you can do. Yeah. And I think in a big way, it applies to what we've done here on the podcast for the last 4.5 years and on the page for the last 9.5 years. Talking. Yeah. It's like this. It's fun and we're friends first. And everything else that's happened has just kind of been like a happy accident and like an added bonus to being able to spend this time
100%.
Yeah, man.
And every time we get, we always dread it, but then we get behind the mic and, or, we talk about stuff and, it's enjoyable. So,
oh yeah. Yeah,
man, I could go on with a nice hanging out and chilling and talking, but, I think it's time to wrap up.
I think so. Yeah. We're 45 minutes down the road now.
Yeah. Give the, fist pump to each other. And, I just want to say thank you everybody for listening. Next episode is 225. So things just keep moving, right? Time moves on and you just keep plugging away and all of a sudden you're down the road. So we're going to continue to do that. I hope you guys have an awesome week, or depending on when you listen to this, but please listen to your music, be happy, and take special appreciation of sunsets and sunrises this week.
Hell yeah, man. They're important.
They are. They offer something beautiful. So actually, I got a tattoo right here of a sunset or a sunrise.
Yeah. There it is.
Drew McFadden has the same one. He inspired me. Our producer. Thank you to our producer, Drew McFadden.
Our producer.
He's out there. He's out there doing the work and
he is.
His process. So, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Peace.
Rock and roll.